Hello everyone, this is Ashish and welcome back to Momentum Podcast. Today we are having with us Anant Mehrotra, who has done his B.Tech from a place that I have done my B.Tech also, but has done his Masters of Science from Politecnico di Milano in mechanical engineering with specialization of ground vehicles. Am I correct, Anant? Did I get
Perfect.
this right this time?
Sure. Correct. 100%.
Welcome to the podcast and thank you for being over here.
No. Thanks for having me.
The main idea of the Momentum podcast is to make more and more people aware about various career avenues. So,
Okay.
obviously, you are leading a career avenue that is extremely unique, and more people should be knowing that. Currently, Anant is an intern at Lamborghini. Anand does not say that with a lot of pride, but Lamborghini gives a joy to everyone that listens to that. He just completed his master's. He is moving in the same pace as Tejasta. Tejasta has been over here in the podcast on the 13th episode. So I think the year was also same, right? You went to Italy in year 2019.
Like Tejasta was, I guess if I'm not wrong, he started in 17, like September of 17. And then I joined in the February of 18. So yeah, we were like just 6 months away from each other.
Almost the same, right?
Almost the same, yes.
So I remember back in college, Anant was always extremely interested in mechanical engineering, and it is even better to say extremely interested in automobile engineering. Am I right? Because you were always
Yes,
participating
sure.
in all those BAJA.
It's all about cars for me, yes.
Yeah, you were part of BAJA team, right, of our college?
Like we didn't make it to the Baja, but then
Hmm.
we of course we made for the go kart, as you know already,
Yes.
and we were
Yes.
like in the top 10 for the go kart. That was like our own effort, everything.
Hmm.
So that was a
Yeah.
good experience. After that, the Baja team was formed, but we were like graduated. So like the juniors
Yeah.
made it to Formula S1 team, yes, Formula SA team.
I think the batch before us were just like initiators. They started the whole movement of this Baha and all,
Yeah,
and you guys continued it. And obviously, the juniors would have gotten the benefit of that. Where did you
yeah.
compete with that go kart? I don't
Go
remember
kart was
properly.
like we started it in like 14. That the
Hmm.
idea was like somewhere in 14, like July or
Hmm.
August.
Hmm.
But when we really decided like okay, let's do it. Let's actually start instead of just talking about it. That was like
Hmm.
somewhere in November
Yeah.
14, and
Yeah.
we were in the event in March 2015, in the middle of March
Where
2015.
was the event? I don't remember properly.
The event was in Bangalore, so that was again
Okay.
a very big task to make the cart in
Uh-huh.
the east of India, and then you had to transport it to roughly 3,000 kilometers
Yeah.
from where you were.
Not
So
only east, it is
logistics,
northeast, right? It is like on the corner, and then you have to
yeah,
go down
exactly.
south.
You
Hmm.
have to go down south. So it was really something we had to take care of rather than just making a cart. You have to
Hmm.
be sure that your baby it does not
Hmm.
suffer while traveling
Yeah.
3,000 kilometers.
Yeah. So, what was the experience over there? I think you got pretty good position. What was the position? I think I don't remember. 26 or something,
we
right?
No. We ended in top 10. We were the eighth
Okay.
in the race, so that
Yeah,
was
I must
pretty
been
good.
mixing. Yeah. Yeah. But it was good.
The
That's what I remember.
it was yeah, it was
Hmm.
really it was a
Hmm.
kickstart, of course,
Yeah.
because we saw a lot of teams. There were like
Hmm.
154 participants, only
Hmm. Hmm.
56 made it to the competitions because there were like four
Hmm.
rounds. You have to be technically proper, then all the regulations had to be followed properly. So
Okay.
the test, the eight and like skid steer and whatever they say. So we
Hmm.
had to go through each test each day, every day. And then at the
Hmm.
end of the fourth day, we were like, okay, these are the 44 teams which have made it to the finals. And now there will be a race.
Hmm. All right.
So race was just like for the fun. So we ended like top 10 in the race. So that was again a very good
Hmm.
part because
Hmm. Hmm.
of course it's like a kick off enthusiasm and
Hmm.
you feel so good when your team is winning a race
Yeah.
around the circuit.
Hmm. So what started it all? The whole madness of automobile engineering inside you. When did it start?
For me,
Yeah, because
for
I
me, I
know
would
there was a
say
group of people in our batch who were crazy about automobile engineering. That's what they did throughout the day, right? But I think you were in the top two, three people were the ones that was leading that, right?
for me, it was like since childhood, I would say, because
Okay.
I reckon that my parents tell me that if they have to make me silent,
Hmm.
just give me car. Like
All right.
even like when I was just small, so it was always about cars. Maybe
Hmm.
something when I was born, I don't know,
Hmm.
but So when I reached bachelor's, so first year was like, okay, we are adjusting. We didn't know seniors. There was not much of an interaction, as you may know already.
Hmm.
But then in the second year, when we went to the department, finally, I met Vaibhav Vyas, if you remember him,
Yes,
who
yes,
was in the
definitely.
BAJA team. Vaibhav Jaswal. So that was the thing. Like that was the time I was like, okay, if somebody can do it and they're still not engineers,
Hmm.
they have the passion, but I think I have passion for cars like nobody else has. So let's make our own. So I learned a lot from him, like visiting the laboratories, visiting the workshops. I was there even until the midnight.
Hmm.
And then when we reached third year, we had like a lot of powers in us, like with us to like build a team.
Hmm.
And just sitting in a room with Shiv and Ishan,
Yeah.
so it was like, let's make something. So first we went to Siliguri
Hmm.
to see a go-kart area, and we thought to buy it and make a hybrid go-kart.
Okay.
But things didn't work out with the business person. He was not really willing to shell out a car just for experiment or something. So we were like, okay, if he's not giving, let's make our own. Like, what's the harm? We can make it. And that was the time that it all kick started. Okay, if we cannot get a card to work on a hybrid vehicle, let's make our own card first, and then let's see how to make it hybrid. Because you have to always start from the zero, right?
All
You
right.
cannot just say I'm going for hybrid right away, because having no knowledge of hybrid back in 2013, it was like an idea that a distant future.
Hmm.
So that's how it happened. It all started like, okay, fine, let's make our own.
All right, Anand, we are actually having all grades of people over here. Maybe people are even like in class 10th. Okay, so would you like to explain a little bit more about what are these hybrid things that you're talking about? Right.
Okay.
Yeah, to an elemental
So
level. I know that
automotive-
you are at master's level right now. Let us bring it down to our level.
Yeah, I should consider. Yeah, let's break it down. Let's
Yeah.
break it down. So the thing is, automotive. It started with the Daimler. He invented the IC engines, what we call IC engines. These are called internal combustion engines. Okay, those are the idea for electric, for like the vehicles for everyone around the globe. But then electric cars popped into the market. Okay. So they run on DC motor, mainly DC motor or brushed motors like the Tesla. Tesla makes its own like asynchronous motors or something. That's like electrical field completely. But the idea is the same, that you convert the power to mechanical power to run your wheels.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the main idea, right? Either is it from electrical energy in the case of electrical vehicles, or is it from the chemical energy in the case of internal combustion engines.
Yeah.
So when you are in the middle, like it's a mixture. You have the battery also in the vehicle, you have some electric power also, but not enough. And then you have an IC engine also. That's a hybrid engine. That's a hybrid technology. The main aim as an automotive engineer, I would say the main aim of having a hybrid is like, you want to cut down the emissions. Okay, because of course you burn fuel, there is emissions and stuff. And then you want to utilize the efficiency of a motor.
Okay.
I don't want to like surprise everyone, but like for starters, let's say an IC engine which is very efficient
Okay.
can be maximum 35% efficient.
Yes.
The rest is all heat waste.
Yeah.
Okay. But an electric car is 95% efficient minimum.
Yeah.
And to have the best of both worlds, for obvious reasons that IC engines are way better. Like even I'm an automotive engineer in 2020, and I'm still saying it
When it comes
because
to power,
they
right?
are more. No. It's like it's more emotional thing than power.
Okay.
You
The
can,
sound
you
of
can
it.
okay. Yeah, it's like you can attach more to an IC engine because the sound of it. Like the pioneers who made this, they didn't know that we will like really love it so much. The sound of it.
Yeah.
Like people go to F1, people hear Ferraris in the town. They don't just look at the Ferrari. They don't just look at the Lamborghini. They know the Lambo is coming because of the sound.
Because of the 8 cylinders.
So
Yeah.
exactly, the V8, the V10, the V12, the enormous engines making that beautiful sound of it. So that's the emotional part of it.
All right.
So you don't want to kill that because you want to still enjoy vehicles. But you still have to respect Mother Nature. So you're like, okay, let's make a compromise.
Okay.
Let's say in the city we'll run on electric motors or something. But we want to really push the limits. We go to IC engine, and then we hear that beautiful sound.
All right.
So hybrid are those vehicles which use both of the energies.
All right, but before we go any further, is there any other benefit than the sound of the engine other than that about IC engine? Because we are putting it in a vehicle, right? So ultimately we are going to put it what is going to be useful for us, right? So why do we
Okay,
actually do that?
so on practical point of view, you
Yeah,
mean, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
on practical point of view, like electric cars, they're efficient, they're good, everything is good about them.
Mm-hmm.
But a coin has two sides, right?
Yeah.
So the second part is like electric energy comes from chemical energy,
Yes.
and still we don't know the science behind batteries.
Okay.
We really don't know how batteries will behave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's consider, like, let's break it down also. Consider like your phone when you buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it
Yeah.
works for one day, completely one day, without no problem, with no problem in it. Like you can even stretch it more than one day. But
Okay.
after some time, it does not go one day, even if you're just normally using it.
Yes.
Why is it happening? What's happening to the batteries? The fatigue life of a battery, nobody knows.
All right.
It's just that people have accepted the fact that it will happen. The batteries will deteriorate with time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you consider an IC engine on that way,
Mm-hmm.
even if it is 5 years old,
Yes,
if
definitely.
there is enough fuel in it, it will work. Okay,
Yeah, I'm
it's
I'm
not like
currently I'm currently having a second-hand scooty which is 2012 model, and it works
yeah,
perfectly. And older
yeah, it
models
works.
will
Right.
also
So
work
so
perfectly.
you don't have to worry about, oh, my engine is 8 years old.
Yeah,
Will it go 2 kilometers or will it go 20 kilometers?
yeah,
If there is fuel, it will go 20 kilometers, right?
yes. Hmm.
But it's not like that with the electric cars.
Mm-hmm.
The practicality today in today's time is actually zero. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's really zero.
Hmm.
Just imagine if you are in emergency and you happen to just have a Tesla because you are Mother Nature fan,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
and you like electric cars.
Yeah.
They perform better than IC engines off the hook. Like off the hook, I mean like from standstill, they are faster than IC engine
Hmm.
because an electric motor has 100% energy from the beginning, but an
Yeah.
IC engine does not have.
Yeah.
It takes time to build up that energy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's fine. But if the battery is cold, the game is flop show.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, if the battery is 20%, it won't perform in the same way.
So IC engine is more reliable.
Exactly. Like to put things in perspective, you
Yeah.
can say that yes,
Hmm.
they are. You can close your eyes and pick an IC engine at any point of time. They're reliable. At this point of time, with today's technology and infrastructure, what we have,
Hmm.
I would say they are way practical and reliable.
Hmm.
I mean, it's my opinion. Being an automotive engineer, I believe they're still more reliable than the electric counterparts.
Hmm. All right. So you build a hybrid vehicle which is having both the prime movers. If we break it down to simple words of mechanical engineering, so it is going to have an electric engine as well and also
Yes.
IC engine, right? So will there
No,
be
it
some?
won't be having a complete electric engine in it. It
Hmm.
will just be having a very small battery pack. So
Okay.
for hybrids, the battery pack is like really small, like 48 volts.
Okay.
Even like the Maruti does like semi-hybrid, which is even smaller battery pack.
Hmm.
So you can go up to 200 volts or something.
Hmm. Okay.
Like that's like for big cars or something. So
Hmm.
it's like really small battery pack.
Hmm.
So it does not have batteries in it, just
Okay.
the battery pack. So it derives energy from the IC engine. You don't have to charge them.
Oh, all right. Okay, Anant,
But
actually,
again, but there is
there are
categorization.
some confusions, the personal confusions that I'm
Okay,
asking you. Okay, so I
sure,
directly
sure,
went
sure,
from
sure.
mechanical engineering to rocket science, so I never actually dabbled with automobile engineering. So I'm trying to clarify things. So what will it have? So there is an IC engine. There will be a crankshaft of an IC engine. So will you attach
Exactly.
it? Will you attach it to some motor, which will be run by
Yes, there
some
will be a
battery?
generator. There will be a generator, exactly, which
Okay.
will extract, because generators, what is the main reason, what is the main work of a generator? Like we have generators in our house also in
Hmm.
India. It's common to
Hmm.
have generators in big
Hmm.
houses. They take energy from a rotating device, which is like you burn the fuel,
Hmm.
the rotor goes on the magnetic power, and then it's converted to electrical energy.
Yeah.
So here from the IC engine, you have mechanical power. You use the same generator to
Okay.
convert it to electrical energy.
All right.
You store that energy in a battery,
Hmm.
and then you utilize it to the DC motor to run your vehicle.
Hmm. Okay.
So how hybrid works is like Toyota Prius is like the best example, but it's like the way more complicated engine. So let's consider any Suzuki in India these days.
Okay.
Okay, so they all are like semi-hybrid kind of. So after a certain limit, your AC, and if you're running at an efficient time, your engine will only be idling. It will just be start for just to provide auxiliaries and other stuff in the vehicle. But your main power would be coming from the batteries. So it's like you're running on an eco version of your car, which is still having an IC engine,
All
but you're
right.
not using IC engine. You're just putting it on start because apart from running the vehicle's energy is gone to a lot of places. Like you use fan, you use electronics in the vehicle, you listen to music. So the energy is not just there to just run your wheels. It was back in 70s, yes, of course it was like that.
You're running a
But
house,
in today's time,
right? Over there with everything in it. So it will require
yeah,
some
you have,
other
yes,
power source.
exactly. You have sensors, you have electronics, you have music, you have AC, you have this, you have that, you have lights. So it's a complete mess. So you have to optimize all these things now.
I don't even know
You
how much
have
it has
to
been practically applied. Like what cars are hybrid these days? I have no idea.
a lot. I would say hybrid is like a child's a piece of cake these days.
All right.
If you just go on internet and Google Scholar, right, just for starters, if people want to know, you can actually search how to build your own hybrid kit.
Okay.
So you can put it on a vehicle, which would not look good, of course, because you won't be doing the aesthetic design. And I would not suggest to do it because there are safety regulations. Definitely don't do it. But if you are an engineer who has a kit and who knows how to design stuff, so you can do it. So it's actually a piece of cake for an engineer to build a hybrid vehicle now, because the technology has evolved completely. But for electric cars, it is still like, if you know Tesla, everybody knows Tesla
Yes.
because of the electric cars. But now it's not just Tesla. There is Polestar, which is an electric division of Volvo. Volvo, everybody knows, but Polestar, I'm not sure if everybody knows. You can Google Polestar for all the audience, I would say. Just Google them because they're also in the game now, and their vehicles are also really good. They're like in good competition with Tesla. And there are some other Chinese companies. They are also in electric car division. So now I would say everyone is in electric vehicles. So hybrid is like, I would say, history now. Like it's an old technology
All right.
where people have kind of excelled how to do things. Now everybody is like going after electric. Like you put Daimler Group, you put Porsche, you put Audi. Audi is like, you will be surprised. Audi is filing roughly 5 patents in a day. That's an average for the last 2 years of Audi when it comes to electric vehicles.
All right. Because they're taking money from everyone that is using that technology, is it?
Audi has filed so many patents. They are like waiting. I don't know what they're waiting for to bring their big car to the electric division to the market, but I think they're coming with their all bulls ready, because I have read like a lot of research papers and I've seen a lot of patents from Audi from the last 2 years, and it's marvelous the work that they're doing.
Okay, so the knowledge that you're having about this hybrid vehicles, it all started back in 2014-ish, kind of, right? When you were still undergraduate. So what kind of career were you looking at that time?
Okay, for me back then it was vague. I won't say I was very well organized and stuff. We are just 18 and 19 and we don't know where we are gonna land up because so it for me only one thing that was clear cut in my mind was, if I have to make my life, it has to be in vehicles. So, and then it was the go-kart and then winning the go-kart. That moment when we built something without even graduating and ending in the top 10 was like a kickstart moment that, okay, I can do. I can, because having no knowledge, right? Like literally you're not being taught automotive. We were doing mechanical.
Yeah, basically your 12th pass.
So, yeah, exactly,
Get the
exactly.
degrees.
So reading research papers, Anshuman taught me a lot. Like, Anshuman is like really good with research papers. So with him, I learned a lot. So reading research papers, like going through them, understanding how it's done. So like comprehending a know-how of how a vehicle is built from scratch. That was my first hands-on experience, and that really
Yeah.
helped me. And I understood something that, okay, fine, if you research, you can do something. It's not that heavy. It's not like you cannot do it. It's just that if you're devoted, you can have it. That's it.
Yeah.
And then after that, like, it was 2015 already, and we just had 1 year to graduate. So things were like pretty
Yeah.
clear to me that, okay, I want to be in the place where they are all about cars. So for me, it was either Germany or Italy. So when you think of
Okay.
Germans, it's all about, they have Mercedes, they have BMW, they have Audi. Like, you can think, and it's like Germany is like awesome. And then you
Yeah.
think of exotic vehicles. They are all here in Italy: Ferrari,
Yeah.
Lamborghini, like Pagani, and like Ducati, Pirelli. So it was a very small bubble for me to fit in to decide where I have to go. So I told
Okay.
myself, okay, just doing bachelor's, probably I have not, because after graduating, I felt I only know about cars what I did during my go kart project. And definitely that's not the best way to learn automotive. I
Yeah.
wanted to know more. I
Yeah.
was curious. It was like I was like a guy who was then hungry for knowledge. I wanted to know more. I just badly wanted to know more. So I started looking for options, and then I decided to come to Italy because this was a very good university. This still is a very good university for research.
Yeah.
They mainly focus on research.
Politecnico di Milano, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, it's all about research. It's like really all about research. I learned so much about vehicles, so much that now, if I have all the money I need, I can build my own car from scratch.
All right. So it was pretty clear to you what direction you were going even before you graduated. Like you had to go abroad if you have to learn more about the cars,
I
right?
actually I actually looked up in India also. It was not just to be, but since I was pulled, I had this, like, I felt like a pulling power, like, from abroad, that, okay, like, when you think of a German vehicle, you think it's built perfectly. Like, you don't have to doubt it. Like, you don't have second thoughts when you say it's German made. And then the same goes when you
Yeah.
think of Italian excellence, Italian, like, marksmanship, artmanship is like next level thing. So that was one thing when I decided. And the other thing was, like, I was mainly focusing on research based automotive courses, which were not really available in India back in 2015 when I started looking. Maybe now they are. It's like 5 years of time. It's a lot. It's a,
Doubtful, I think.
yeah.
No, it's not really a lot. For India, it's not a lot. I think it is still at that place only where it was in 2015-16. But what are the options in India before we get abroad?
In India, I would say, because after coming here, I realized IIT Chennai, IIT Madras is really good if you want to do your master's in automotive. Because
Okay.
because after coming to Politecnico di Milano, we have like tie-ups with Michigan State, we have tie-ups with Carnegie Mellon University, Stanford, and every good
Okay.
university, I mean, you can think of. The surprising factor was professors here even knew few professors from IIT Chennai when they were working on tires and
Okay.
when they were working for carbon fiber reinforcement. So I think IIT Chennai definitely has good automotive projects, or I mean automotive courses for students who want to be in India.
All
Had
right.
I known them before, maybe I would have still been in India, but no guilt here, no regrets. I love where I am. It's like a world filled with automotive.
Yeah, I think you were shooting for the best,
Yes,
and I think you went straight where you
yes,
wanted to be,
exactly.
right?
Yes, you
So
can say that. Yes,
okay, these go-kart competitions and even Baja or Supra competition, the winners over there are actually directly
yes,
a lot of times
yes,
employed or
yeah,
given the
yes, yes,
intern
yes.
chance, right? Was that in your mind when you were competing
Yes, it
in all
was.
these?
It was a possibility because it's like because Baja competitions are taken by Mahindra. And Mahindra, I would say in India, Mahindra is really doing a good job. I mean, really, they are really doing R&D. They are really building from scratch. They are not buying R&D other companies which you may consider. They are just building vehicles in India. They're just manufacturing. But if you talk about like Mahindra, they are doing work from ground. Okay, they are building things from grounds up. So they are really doing some good R&D. So back in 2015, I had, okay, fine, maybe if we win, if we are getting noticed, I could be in Mahindra or in R&D or something. So like the idea was like I was having, it was not just plan one and finish. You have to have more plans, but all plans were in the same direction, of course. Vehicles,
Yeah, goal is same.
vehicles, exactly. The goal was same. I have to be somewhere in vehicles. That was the only thing.
Yeah. So what did you do after college? Did you take some time to prepare for, what exams did you prepare for? GRE
Okay,
or
so for
something like that? I
Europe,
don't really know.
the things changed from time to time. So in 2016, when I started applying, until 2016, I was not really sure that I'll go out because I was having an internship at Caterpillar.
Oh yeah, I remember that was in
And
8th semester, right? Couple of you guys actually went over
yes,
there
yes,
in Chennai, I
exactly.
think,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So I was thinking to enter Caterpillar, but in a different division where I was having an internship. But things didn't go as planned, and then I decided, okay, fine, if I can learn German language. I'm an automotive engineer. I'm a mechanical engineer. I want to learn German because Germany is the way to, of course, I was having Volkswagen and stuff in mind because they are present in India. And I knew if you know German, you can break in a bit easier.
Okay.
It's a bit of a margin you have,
Obviously,
like,
it helps.
okay, you are here, okay, you know German, of course. So I started doing my German language course. So I finished until B1, and by that time I had already applied to a few German universities. So some required GRE, but not cons. Sorry, not English, only cons score
Okay.
to see your mathematical calculations, because of course you're going to be a mechanical engineer and master of science. You have to be good at calculations.
Yeah.
And then other things were like other universities didn't even require anything. It's like your SOP, like Politecnico di Milano does not require you to file a GRE.
Okay.
Because they want your GPA, which should be good. It should be above 8.5 minimum. Then main is your Skype interview and your SOP. So actually for Europe there is not one trend, like if you think of a Western country like USA, it's always the same. Give TOEFL, give GRE, end of story.
Okay.
For European market, things change a lot, and then language is the barrier. So a lot of people don't come here, but I would say people should consider it because the life is much better than the life is in USA.
Okay.
It's
Why is that so?
it is because they are more cultural people.
Okay.
They are very welcoming, especially Italians are very welcoming. You feel like home here. They're really good, kind-hearted. The only thing is like, and especially on top of that, your university is 90% funded by the government. So even when you're abroad, you're not shelling a lot of money.
Yeah.
So just consider, I did my Master of Research, like it's a research program. I just paid 4,000 euros as a tuition fee. If you convert that, that would make 3,20,000 rupees in India.
Yeah, that is nothing. Even B.Tech courses
That is
cost
nothing.
larger than that.
Exactly. So it's because it's 90% funded by the government because you're doing a research course. If you're doing some special course, which is 9 months, they're like 9 months you pay 18,000, 20,000 euros. But if you're going to the good universities in Europe, the University of States or the University of the state or something like government universities, public universities, they are roughly either free, like really free, or you just pay 10% or max to max 20% of the cost.
All right. These are the things that people don't really know. So I want to get you to that point only. So 2016, somewhere around July, we all graduated. And the next thing, at that time, I think your internship must also have ended at Caterpillar.
Yes, true.
Then what did you do? The next step was to learn German, was it?
Yes, the next step was finding jobs in the automotive market in India, especially Mahindra, Volkswagen.
You applied here as well.
Or Ashok Leyland. I applied, but there were not openings, of course. There's a loophole, we don't take freshers. Sorry, we don't take freshers. Sorry.
I have applied also in automobile sector back then, but no replies, right?
No replies, exactly. So you know it already. You have been through the path. So my thing was like, okay, I have my house here. I don't have to worry about rent. Okay. So that's like one thing. I don't have to worry about food and rent. So let's build future first. So I started learning German.
Okay.
In the meantime, I started looking for jobs also. If like it was like if this opens or if that opens.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you have both the doors open. And third thing was like I started applying for universities in 2017
Okay.
in January, or like based on how at what time you have to apply. I knew I took notes of everything
Yes,
starting
obviously.
from May 2016. It was not like I decided in 17. I started applying, but I had the records of all the universities I wanted to go
Okay.
by July or September of 2016 already. So I was just waiting for them to open their online portal, and I was like, okay.
All right. So how do you actually apply? What are the things a student needs to send over there?
So the most important thing I would say, like before even applying, I would say, because a lot of people are still troubled how to search a university. Okay. So for starters, I can give you one website for Germany, which is called www.daad.de. It's the German version of it.
Okay.
It's called dad.de. Okay, like they is like for Deutschland in Germany.
Okay.
Okay, so daad.de. It's the German version, but if you just go there and put English as a language,
Yeah,
so
I'll
you can
actually
find
link the website
everything.
down in the description box also for people who are interested. So
Yes,
you can directly send
yeah,
me the
sure.
link. Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Okay. Perfect. So this is for Germany.
Hmm.
And then for Italy, I can list you because I have been here for like roughly 3 years now. So I know the good universities. First is Politecnico di Milano. It is number one university in Italy from the last 5 years. And it's world ranked 7th when I graduated from mechanical engineering. So it's really among the top.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's second in Europe, so you can count on it. Then there is Politecnico di Torino, which is Turin, in the state of Turin, in the city of Turin, where Fiat has his house.
Okay.
So you can think where you are landing up. It's Fiat is a big company. It has Fiat owns Maserati, Fiat owns everything. So you can imagine. It's Politecnico di Torino, and then there's University of Milano, which is again a very big university. Then there is EET Genova, Italian Institute of Technology, just like Indian Institute of Technology. It's called IIT Genova. It is completely research based. It's a very good and a very, very advanced program there. Like the most advanced robotics in the world is being built there in Genova. So you can imagine. It's a very big university, very good university. You might not have heard the names, but they're doing excellent work, like really mind blowing. And then there is University of Pisa, that is well renowned already. So these are some of the universities I've helped you with. If you Google them, you can find other universities, of course.
Okay.
Then there is University di Sapienza, I guess, if I'm not wrong. It's in Rome. Again, it's a very good university in Rome. You can give it a try. All the audience, you can give it a try, of course. The university in Rome is good. Then going back to Switzerland, if you have a lot of money, of course, then it is ETH Zurich.
Okay.
It is number one in Europe. From like it's really good. It's really difficult. Again, Politecnico di Milano, it's very difficult. Because I would say it's a very funny story. They tell you if you fail, don't be disheartened. It's very common to fail here. So it's that hard. So we all failed. We all graduated in 2 years. So it's very common to fail here. So don't be disheartened. It's really difficult. And then Aalto University in Finland is amazing. It's really amazing. In Germany, you can count on TUM, TUN,
Technical University.
RWTH.
Yeah.
Munich, yeah. RWTH Aachen, FH Aachen, University of Bremen, it's also very good. Coming back to Belgium and Netherlands, you can go to KU Leuven, which is in Belgium if I'm not wrong. And then you can go to Delft, you can go to Eindhoven. These are like known names. If you are here, you can close your eyes and you're satisfied because the curriculum is just amazing. So because you'll be surprised, each university has different protocols to enter. So I cannot tell you just one thing. It's like a mixed bag. But yeah, for common things, you need your 12th and 10th degree with you,
Okay.
apostilled. So apostillation is different from notary.
What are
Okay,
those two?
notary is
I've heard
something.
those names for the first time. What are they?
Okay, so for your degree to be valid outside of your country, because AICTE, if I'm not
Yes,
wrong, is
yes.
the act which we, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's valid only in India. Okay, so to make it validated outside, you get your notary done. Notary is like done at a civil court, so fine, it's still valid.
Okay.
But apostillation is one thing which was India is in the convention of apostillation. You get it done by the center. So actually, the central government is authenticating your degree.
Okay, okay.
So it is now valid in 105 countries worldwide.
Okay.
So you have to get your documents, your tenth mark sheet, because that's how you prove when you were born, and then your 12th degree, which proves that you passed your high school and inter school. Then your transcript from your bachelor's, okay, and then your degree from bachelor's. These four documents must be apostilled.
Okay.
Their value just goes up, and apostillation takes 1 day.
Okay. How to do that? What are the procedure
You
to
can,
do that?
okay, it's very simple. You go to Delhi if you are in Delhi. Otherwise, you can just search centers for apostillation in your own city. There are a lot of centers. But for people who are in Delhi, what you can do is like you can go to Connaught Place, easily reachable. And there's White House. Everyone must have heard of White House building
Those who have been
behind
in Delhi.
Barakhamba metro
Yep.
station. Yeah. There is a center for apostillation. You give them their degree, they charge you 60 rupees per degree, and that's it. Next day you have your apostille degree with you.
Pretty simple.
So pretty simple. It's pretty simple. It's really simple. Even I was surprised when I was going for it.
It is simpler than it should be, right?
Yeah, it is very simpler than it should be, exactly. It's
Okay.
like you go there, you give them degree, you tell them you need apostillation, and that's it.
All right. So we
End
have
of
our
story.
degrees in our hand. That is good. You said that already that we should have a good CGPA at least above 8.5 or
Yes.
something. That helps.
8.5 is minimum, yes.
Yeah. Does our 10th marks or 12th marks
No,
for a
no.
CGPA percentage
No.
does not matter? Okay.
I was an average student. I never studied in school.
Okay. All right. What were your
So-
percentage? It might motivate few of the people over here.
Okay, so my percentage in 10th was only 80,
All right.
and in 12th it was even lower. It was just 77. So
Okay.
so you
Average.
can still work your way up. You
Yeah.
can still work your way up in the top 10 universities in the world. Just make sure you have a good SOP is actually one thing which you really need to be polished.
Statement of
And I would
proposal.
recommend, yes, exactly.
You have to
So don't go
basically
to
write down
consultancies.
what an SAP is. You have to write down why you want to join a university. Is it?
Yes,
Your
but I
interest?
would say I've written so many SOPs. So a good SOP would take like uh, a good amount of time. Okay, to put in months perspective, it would be like 5, 6 months, 3 months at least. Give your SOP 3 months. It's like it should look like a story. Like you have to sell your idea that you really want to study.
Okay.
It's not just because you're not having an employment, so you are just going for masters to have one more degree in your curriculum. Okay.
Give
That
us an
should not be
example.
the
What
thing.
did you write in your SOP?
Sure. So my SOP was like when I showed it to my brother who is in Apple. He's really elder to me. He's my cousin. So he said it is really looking like a story now, but you just need to polish it with words or something, good words and blah blah. That's it. To make it sound more editorial than just your story. That's it. So the thing is like you have to tell that how emotionally connected you are, how desperate, I would say. Desperate is not the right word. I would say passionate you are to really study masters, to really pursue a course which will specialize in something and you really want to learn it. It's not just because you're going, but you really want to go. So mine was like the first para has to give your background. So it goes like I was always about this. My career always revolved around it. Since childhood, I was passionate about automotives. At the age of 10, I was involved in these and these stuff. That was the moment at growing further, studying and going to car dealers and stuff. I always wanted to know about cars. That was when I realized that I want to do my bachelor's. Second para, now you tell more about bachelor's. You started a go-kart project. And if people you don't have it, you don't have to worry about. Just list some of your projects that are comparable to the master's course. So if you have done just simple projects also, you read, even if you have just read 2 research papers, just talk about them. Talk about how that one research paper motivated you to do a research course or to do a master's course outside. Okay, then that's all about that. Like what motivated me further. I learned in bachelor's, my university of bachelor's really helped me to learn the fundamentals of engineering. But then I asked myself, this is not it. I really want to excel this area. So I want you. Now comes the third paragraph where you tell at this university, at X and X university, please make sure you mention university. This shows that you have not written SOP for all. You are paying attention to them, okay? Everybody needs attention. Everybody in the world needs attention. So show them that you are giving them your time. Show that you have paid good amount of time to to write an SOP which is tailored only for them. So go to the university page, check some of the research that they're doing and include them. It really makes the difference. It's like a good SOP and an excellent SOP is just like one or two more things.
Okay. Yeah.
So tell about university, why you want to be there, what work they're doing that really inspires you. Even if it's like you are number one, okay, fine, don't write it, of course. don't be so desperate, but show that your research career, your research interest aligns with the work that the university is undertaking or something like that. Prove. And then the fourth paragraph should be the summary of everything. So that's how you write that. But don't write it more than one page.
Yeah.
Stick to one page.
Right.
Stick to the font of 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Make it like a story, but don't be desperate. And that's the thing.
Yeah, that's the perfect advice that you have given me. I actually also did not have proper idea about what SOP is all about. Obviously, I have given GATE examination and all that. So in IIT Bombay and all that also, they ask for SOPs if you are applying for like aerospace engineering and all. But I never wrote it properly because I got into BARC and also I forgot about that, right? But yeah, it is. I was not even knowing that it is only of one page, and it matters more about what
it
is
should
the
be maximum one page.
quality more than what is the quantity. It should show what passion that you are having, and it should show in words.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It would help if you are a good writer, right?
Yeah, it really helps a lot because I was always in writing because I read since childhood. I really started like collecting magazines of Autocar India, Overdrive. So I used to read a lot, and I still do my blog if you know it already.
I don't.
So
please let us know. Others can also read.
No? Ah, okay. It's like it's called carlover.news.blog.
Nice.
So in my free time, and I write not everything. I write topics which are completely different. I don't do every car comparison. I don't do everything.
Okay.
I do which is something off the hooks, which people are not talking in the industry, maybe.
All right.
Or which people would like to know. So only those things. So I'm not really frequent on that because now having a job, I'm devoted to that.
But still, whatever you can offer to common people, something that can be read by everyone.
So I try to break it down in simple words for the common public to know what a differential is. Suppose I don't know if everybody knows what a differential is. I have written on differential in a very simple manner. Like just imagine my sister understood when she read it. So if she can understand, I guess people who want to learn differential, they can understand it properly.
Yeah.
So those are the things I write, like break down in the simple words so that a common person who wants to know it, but not in too much engineering stuff, he can understand it. He or she can understand it.
That is what Einstein said, no? If you cannot explain it simply, you do not understand it well enough. So it is perfect if your words, even after you have done masters in automobile engineering, can be understood by someone who is in 8th standard, right?
Yes.
And also automobile engineering is having a big community filled with people passionate about it, right? So if there's someone over here.
Yes. Like people are really crazy, when it comes to cars.
It is very similar to the science or rocket science sector. Over there also a lot of people are crazy about rockets and landing on different planet, but it is very comparable, almost at the same level, that different community people are actually, it might also be comparable to the comic book or anime community, that they are passionate about that, right?
Yes.
So
Yes, exactly.
it is always,
It's like because now I'm in Maranello, which is like the town of Ferrari.
yeah.
If you're outside like for lunch, just imagine for a coffee, you can see a Ferrari running here, like a Ferrari prototype or something, and people are crazy. You go to Ferrari museum, people are crazy. Engineers are, you can see on their face that they want to build cars. They want to just do this in their life. So like you can see the passion in people, and that's what you need to show in your SOP when you are in.
All right. Also, in your SOP, if you let them know what area you are working in, and that area that
Yes.
university is also working in, then that would show that you have already studied about that university.
Yes. Like just throw in whatever you think can work in your favor. Just throw in everything in that.
Yeah.
That's why I told like it will take some time, because first SOP will be just putting everything. You have to really put everything. You don't have to miss on something good which might work in your favor. You never know what thing might work in your favor. And then you have to keep cutting it. You have to read it out loud. You have to listen to it while you're reading. And then you understand, oh, this shouldn't be there. Oh, okay, this should be there.
Right.
So for me, it was a bit easier because I do blogging, I read a lot, I write a lot. So it was a bit easier. And I think for the people who don't know how to write, and like your other podcasts are already there to help them to how to be good at writing, how to be good at reading and like talking.
All right. So let us talk about people who go for consultancy for going to universities abroad, and they will charge somewhere around 2 lakh to 3 lakh rupees, which is not really a lot, but it might be harmful for the people who are doing that, right? You were explaining something
I
like
mean,
that.
it's an added cost for no use. Because just imagine you are already going to spend a lot of money staying here. Okay, fine. I told before, I was talking about the tuition fees, not much in Europe. But you pay double the amount just to stay. Because Europe is expensive. Like the standard of living is expensive. So why do you want to add that cost, which you will be spending like roughly in 3-6 months, just in one moment to enter a university, which you can do by yourself? So the thing is like consultancy will pave a very butter smooth paper path for you, and they will land you there. But you won't learn anything. You won't search. You won't know. You won't come to know that which university is good. Like you were telling, when you do yourself, you can get a better idea what's good for you, what's not good for you. It's just like until you play football, you don't know how to kick. And if you are in the team, it's useless without even practicing. It's that kind of a thing. So I would say I never approached any consultancy for anything. It takes time. So that's why I was saying it takes time a lot. Because first is searching the universities, sometimes weeks or months to search a good university with everything. I mean, not just their names, with everything, with every data. And make sure you have a diary or a notebook in hand so you keep record of each university. And then keep like stepwise. What I did, I would personally suggest whenever I used to like the university that I would go, I would even say, okay, this university, steps to enroll, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, or just a flow chart. Make a flow chart. It's easier to understand. And make one book. I made one separate book for this. So like 3-4 pages for each university I gave. What is the deadlines? What are everything? What is my username on their portal? What is my password for them? So everything is in one book. You don't have to worry about it. So everything is organized. And once it is organized, why you need consultancy? Consultancy is just doing what you are doing, just like that, organizing your stuff.
Yeah. So basically, consultancy is an added cost without any benefit, and to some extent, it can harm you because. Maybe you won't be actually able to find out where you actually want to be, because until you do the sufficient research yourself, somebody might come and tell you that, okay, this university is very good, but is it the best university for you? That is something that you have to find, and you have to do things organically.
Yeah, because that's like personal preference, right? That's like personal preference, like you're talking about. Exactly, I agree with you. Just imagine, I met a person
Mm-hmm.
who came through consultancy who
Mm-hmm.
did not know how to use online services of our university.
Okay. Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
and that's really shameful. You are
Mm.
here, okay, fine, but man, what really?
Mm.
Because Polyme's online services are a bit complicated, but we
Mm.
all, like all the people who went through themselves, we knew how to like transfer between different pages and links because
Mm-hmm.
we did apply through it. We
Mm-hmm.
made an account on it. We
Mm-hmm.
navigated through different menus in it
Mm-hmm.
because you can control your entire life online through
Mm.
Polyme online service.
Mm.
But that guy didn't know because he didn't make an account.
Mm.
He didn't serve through any. He didn't toggle between different options,
Mm.
and you are already in Italy and you don't know how to download notes. So that's when you find the loophole of consultancy,
Mm.
right?
Also, that habit of spoon feeding is going to bite you in the ass sooner or later, right? Because ultimately you have to
Of
find your way.
course.
Hmm.
Exactly. And nobody's going to help you like they do in India. People are not like that. You have to understand the cultural difference. You really have to understand the
You will be
cultural
looking for some
difference.
consultancy when you're looking for some job also over there, and every step of your life. Somewhere or the other, you
Exactly.
have to
So
learn.
I would say that's not a good practice.
Hmm.
Don't go for it.
Yeah.
Work hard. You will get into universities maybe sometime later by other people, but
Hmm.
you will know everything then.
Hmm. Okay. So there are various requirements of various universities. Every university almost are different when it comes to the requirement when you are trying to apply. Yes, CGPA does help. Your SOP helps massively. Other than that, is there something that students can build? Let us say you are talking to an undergraduate, second year student, and is very interested and passionate about automobile engineering. How will you guide that person? How to proceed? How can that person do the best?
Okay, for that person, I would say, especially if you're coming to Europe,
Hmm.
make sure you are good at language.
Hmm. All right.
I won't say it's necessary to survive,
But
but
it helps.
it's very good if you know the language. It
Hmm.
helps a lot
Hmm.
because I felt myself like paralyzed when I'm outside in the beginning
Hmm.
because I learned German until B1. I learned also Italian when I got
Okay.
to know when I'm coming to Italy. When I'm
Hmm.
coming to Italy, so I enrolled also an Italian course. But that was just A1. I knew how to introduce myself. I
Hmm.
knew how to like talk. But it's like language is like you have to use it daily.
Hmm.
It's like mathematics
Yeah.
to be comfortable with the language, right? It has to be a habit,
Hmm.
not something you do occasionally.
Hmm.
So when you go out in the public, you find yourself paralyzed, and that feeling is not really good. Trust me.
Yeah.
So if I'm, and also, okay, language is just one thing when you're going out. But if you really want to be ahead of people in Europe, so you should know as a person who wants to do an automotive or mechanical or like whatsoever any engineering, make sure you know MATLAB.
Okay. Yeah. That is a very important software. That is
MATLAB
what I tell most of the graduates or undergraduates, that is a very important software, right?
MATLAB equal to scientific calculator of bachelor's.
Yes. Hmm. People invest so much time in learning CATIA, ANSYS, SolidWorks. They never care about MATLAB, and actually, you can learn it on yourself, on your own also. So when I got into these universities, then I had to learn. Not university, these jobs and all, BARC and all. I had to learn on my own.
Like MATLAB is really important. I would
Hmm.
say it's really important,
Hmm.
especially for a research university. We need to optimize things on MATLAB. We need to do a lot of stuff on MATLAB.
Hmm. Yeah.
You have to deal with data. Okay, engineer is not okay. So I would want to break this bubble what people have in
Hmm.
India, especially because even I had.
Okay.
It's like engineers are making things. No, there will be technicians making things.
Hmm. Yeah. True.
You as an engineer have to comment on the data. You have to play with data. It's 2020. You are in industry 4.0.
Hmm.
There is digitalization at the mother level of everything.
Hmm.
As an engineer, you just have to play with data. So you need to have some trick up your sleeves, and that is MATLAB.
Hmm. All right.
I learned so many softwares in last 2 years
Hmm.
that I would say I haven't learned in my entire life.
Hmm.
I know ANSYS, I know MATLAB, I know Simulink, I know Adams, the complete pack of Adams.
Hmm.
I know I know Altair Inspire, I know Hypermesh, I know SolidWorks, I know CATIA, I know Autodesk Fusion 360, I know Siemens NX now. They're just 12, I can name them on my fingers.
Yeah.
And I also learned Digimat, I learned Abacus. Abacus is like godfather of ANSYS. Okay? So you know ANSYS, and you know like you have to do meshing for finite elements, right?
Yeah.
In Abacus, you can decide mesh character for each type of mesh you give to a body. So it's that detailed. You can change the degree of freedom of one single mesh in Abacus. So I would say softwares are a must. And I'm not saying if you don't know them, you are like, oh my God, because I didn't know any one of them. But I would say MATLAB is a must. Learn MATLAB. Because that's like your scientific calculator in your laptop. I never used scientific calculator in these 2 years. Never.
Okay.
Because the calculations that you have to do, you can't do them on calculator. You need MATLAB to do it for you. You need your processor. You need your laptop to do it for you. Because you can't solve a differential equation on a scientific calculator.
Yeah. All right. We are going to go a little further in that what should an undergraduate do. But also, since you brought the language barrier thing, no, there's something that I felt also, in India, if you go from one part of India to second part of India, you are going to find language barrier over there as well. So I went down south. All right. So I was facing languages like Tamil, Malayalam, and the biggest thing that a regret that you felt, I also felt, because I saw highly intellectual people senior than me. They are talking about rocket science over there, and I'm not able to understand. And I was regretting at that point that if I knew that language, I would be able to learn faster over here, right? So language definitely.
That's the barrier. That's the barrier you feel. Actually, the thing is, it becomes just like a bypass. If you know the language, things are so easier for you. And I can relate to Tamil because I was in Caterpillar in Chennai. So yeah, I've experienced that. Like the problem is the people will explain you in English. Of course. But it's like waste of time. And being an engineer, you should know time is really important. Like you have to be productive. So what they used to do at Caterpillar was like they were talking in Tamil, and then they just for the sake of 4 of us, they had to talk again in English. That's waste of time for me. And I would think it's not right. So like coming to Europe is like one thing you have to consider that, okay, language is one thing you have to learn. You really have to learn.
Yeah. So if they're very modest, then they will try to translate again in English. But I've worked in places when they don't bother to do that as well. So you are just having a blank space over there. Okay. Anyways, so you suggest there's a software called MATLAB. If you're sure about getting into Germany or Italy, then you should be investing time in those languages, right?
If you are sure about doing masters outside, I would say MATLAB.
Yeah, MATLAB and a language that you will be comfortable with.
Yeah, language course, of course. Yeah.
Right?
Even if you're doing until A2, it's enough. You come here, you talk, you'll be fine. But do A2. Do at least A2.
Yeah. And other than that, would you suggest them participating in this BAJA, Supra, and go-kart and all that?
It's definitely an added advantage because I would tell like if you're applying for Ferrari, okay, they see if you have any previous backgrounds of motorsport events or not. And if you don't have, you're really not going inside, trust me.
All right.
You're not making your way in for sure.
Okay, so if you are aiming for the top, then definitely you will need that.
You need them, yes, you need them. But don't worry, because I did not have background of BAJA. Okay, I did not have BAJA experience. I was having an experience of go-kart, which was a national level go-kart.
Okay.
So that also counts. But it's like, I mean, see, your interest should be visible. That's the thing. Bottom line. That's the bottom line. But yes, if you have the opportunity to do these events, don't step back. Just go in. You don't know anything, no problem. You will learn it. But don't step back because you do not have the knowledge to do it.
Yeah, and I would also say that obviously your college curriculum will not be having a lot of automobile engineering, will be having one subject in one semester. But if you're really passionate, I think you should continue to study as much as possible. Online resources are always over there. So that knowledge is definitely going to help you in future.
Exactly.
Right when you get into some university.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Like Steve Jobs says, no, like stay hungry, stay foolish.
Yeah, definitely. And
So
stay
stay
hungry for
hungry.
knowledge. So next, let us know a little bit about the total expenditure. So tuition fees was less. We agree with that. I think the amount that you said, somewhere around 400 euros.
In Germany, it's 100% free. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you can even go to like 100% free. So what you would actually require is good background of all the things that we have talked about. And if the university accepts you, your tuition fees is free, right? And even though if it is present over there, it is very, very low, which is very affordable by even, I think, middle class people. If you talk about the tuition fees.
Yes, yes, it's affordable. Even if you're paying 40, like 20%, it's affordable. Like for what you're getting, like
Yeah.
just consider that.
But living expenditure is there, right? So talk about that a little bit.
Yes. Okay, so considering Milan, which is the most in the top three or top five most expensive cities to live in Europe, if you are living like in comfort, I would say, because a lot of people what they do is like just to reduce the cost. In the place of two, they live four, but then you don't have peace of mind, and then you have to go to libraries to study and whatnot. So I would not suggest to do it, but if it's really a crunch, you really have to save, make three, but not four. I mean, in a place of two, make three, but not four. But still, if you are just doing groceries from the cheapest stores, there. Okay, so first thing is like in India we have MRP, okay, but here they don't have a concept of MRP.
Okay.
Every store has their own sweet price to it.
Okay.
They can sell a piece of bread for 20 cents. The same brand bread can be sold at €1 also
All right.
in a different store. It depends on the store. So if you can find good stores, cheap stores, and you're going just groceries, eating maybe twice or thrice in a month or four times in a month, that's like one time in a week outside, and living like good, then 500 euros is a good price. You can survive. That's like 40,000 rupees in India. And if you ask me, it's very cheap considered to USA.
That is exactly what Tejista also said, somewhere around 40,000 every month, right?
Yeah, 40, 50, yeah, if you are in 40, 50 bracket, you are comfortable also. You have your own space in your place where you are living, and you are eating good also. It's not like you are suffering from eating. You are eating good, you are eating daily, and you are having good grocery shoppings. You are eating outside also four times or five times, even six times. 500 euros is like really a lot. You can do it nicely.
All right.
Yes.
So if you're doing a course of 2 years, it would cost you somewhere around 10 lakh rupees, right? When it comes to Indian currency.
Let's say 15, 16 maximum, because you travel also. Like you have to
Okay.
consider that you might come home.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that is kind of like the amount invested to do an MBA also, right? So if you're
Exactly.
going for
That's
higher,
what people just don't understand, that you can do a master's from outside, even sometimes lesser amount than you pay at Symbiosis Pune.
yeah.
Or like BITS Pilani is like 6 lakh. I saw the tuition fee for masters. I was like, what? 6 lakhs?
Yeah. So do you have any idea about the living expenditure and all that in Germany?
In Germany, I would say if you are in small cities, it would be even lesser, because Milan is expensive. So
Yeah,
in Milan, an apartment costs you like 800 euros or something for a single room. So you can share with one person, so 400 euros for you, and then or something like that, with including all the bills I'm telling you. But Stuttgart, example, you can get like a 3 BHK in 1,000 euros. So you can live six people there. So just imagine 1,000 divided by 6 is nothing then. So it depends where you are in Europe. But if you are in Switzerland,
Yeah, that is too much.
sorry,
You have to be rich for that.
that is too much.
Right.
And if you are in Denmark, again expensive. But I would say if you are in most of the cities in Europe, most of the cities, 50,000 is max. You can survive. You can really survive. Unless you want to like loot your father going around parties in Europe.
Yeah, no, actually, we were off camera at that time. We took a break for clearing the space over there, Anant was talking a little bit about how hard it is actually to stay over there. If you are going to party, you're not going to have very good future either. So you actually have to
Yeah.
work extremely hard over there. He was saying right now that there are no books. Whatever the professors teach over there, you have to be thorough with that. Every day after you come back from your
Yes.
classes, you have to work extremely hard. And Anand did that. He had a huge amount of passion, so obviously he did that. But also, if you are taking that amount of money and you're going over there, you have to have an extreme amount of seriousness as well, that you have to build
Yes.
a
Yes.
career. And that is what Anant is doing right now. Like, you are getting paid right now and you are going to return whatever amount that you invested in, right?
Yes.
That is
Yes.
also
Yes.
very
True.
important. Just like, okay, there's no tuition fees, I'm going to go over there. It's not easy. It's not easy anywhere to get a job, especially when you're talking about jobs in Lamborghinis and Ferrari. So Anant was saying that this is how it goes. First, you're going to get into internship, and then you are going to work your way up. So if you're going to do good over there, you're going to reach a certain level, and after working hard over there as well, then you're going to get
Yes.
some
Yes.
kind of
True.
permanent
True.
kind of
True.
job,
True.
right?
Right. Right. Very true. I agree. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, but this opportunity, really, I was not aware of that. I was not aware of that until now, that it is actually as costly as doing any random MBA from India, right? So,
And like a lot of people don't know. Even I didn't know before I ended up here.
hmm,
So there are. I know this. I know only about Italy,
hmm,
but there is one common European thing which is called Erasmus. Okay,
hmm, hmm,
it is a student union and it's highly powerful, highly independent.
hmm,
And Erasmus has really good programs to do masters in Europe.
hmm, hmm,
So if you are in Erasmus, they have scholarships also
okay,
to cover your entire duration.
hmm, 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 hmm,
So
okay,
it can be free. Okay. And there for Italy, I think for Italy, I know best because I have been here for 3 years.
hmm, hmm,
There are two scholarships. One is called Invest Your Talent in Italy. It's called Invest in Italy.
hmm, hmm, hmm,
It is amazing. You don't even have to pay the tuition fee I paid.
hmm, hmm,
It's completely nil, so 0 rupees. You just pay 160 euros for your administration fee that you confirm that you're gonna come there.
hmm,
Okay,
hmm,
so that's like an enrollment fee you pay.
hmm,
Then nothing, and then they give you 5,000 euros
hmm.
for a year to survive. Yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah, they do a lot of things like that to harness talent. So obviously, talent from abroad is going to get over there.
Exactly. That's the point.
So they are going to get
Yes.
the
And
free.
then the invest in Italy is like you just have to apply from your home country while you're coming here. They give you 9,000 euros in a year to survive here.
Hmm.
So 9,000 euros is a lot of money for a student to survive.
They're going to live a rich life over there. Like, whatever is required, you're not going to compromise with things over there, and then you can focus on your studies,
Not at all.
right?
Exactly.
Okay. How do we get these scholarships? How do we apply?
Okay. You have to search on Google invest in Italy.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Okay. And then you can get everything about it. I guess the enrollment has to be done by March, if I'm not
Okay.
wrong.
Perfect timing then.
So if you're planning for next year 2021, then by March you have to get things done.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure because I didn't do it, but a lot of friends told me a little bits about it. And after coming here, you cannot apply it, so you have to be it has to be before.
Okay.
So I didn't know it, but I want you people who might come now, so be aware of it.
Yeah, definitely. That is the
Then
whole
there is
objective.
also called
Yeah, go ahead.
there's one more which is called DSU. It is based on for your financial basis.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So public universities have it. It's like you have to show your family composition, how many people are there
Hmm, hmm.
in the government paper, like the certified notary paper. The I don't know how we call it in India. I guess I don't know. Like it's a 10 rupee note on top, and then it's like from the civil court or something. There's a stamp.
I don't even know what it is called, but that is how they make almost all the documents, like my agreement.
All the
and
documents. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when you go to a notary, like people, if you go to a notary, they know how to make it. So don't worry about it. Just go to a civil notary, notarized person. He knows what he has to do.
Hmm.
So you make a family composition, then you tell where you live, and then your father's salary. And you have to show if he's the only earning member and stuff. So you compile all of these, and then they will convert this amount in euros. And if it is
Okay.
below a certain level, which they decide every year,
Mm-hmm.
then you will be considered scholarship on financial basis.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
because India is a poor country, according to Europe, of course, because it's like 1 euro is 90 rupees right now. So when you cut by 90, it's definitely below that level. So a lot of students, mostly 90% of students get their scholarship. So even in that, it's like your tuition fee is zero again, and then you just and they give you, I guess, 5,000 euros for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, sorry, they give you 5,000 euros for a year. It's less than invest in Italy, but they give you 5 euros daily to eat
Okay.
for your lunch.
Hmm.
Okay. So that's like, just imagine 5 euros into 365. That's a very big money again.
Hmm.
So they are also giving you roughly around 7,000 euros a year.
Okay.
So it's more or less comparable. So these kind of scholarships are present in Europe. First is Erasmus, then is invest your talent in the country you're going. Just search if you're even going to Germany. And Germany also has DAAD scholarships, DAAD, like which we talked about before. They also have some scholarships
Okay.
based on financial and stuff. And I guess most of every Indian can get it because you divide your money, what your father makes, by 90. So if the limit is 50,000 euros, you're talking about 4 crores INR. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. All right. So definitely keep on looking for these scholarships. Keep on looking for the university. Try to find out universities which are doing their research and mainly focused on the work that you would like to work on. Step number one, have passion. Without
True.
that, I don't think that you
True.
can go very far in this field, or you can go at all, because ultimately you have to make a living out of it. And it's not like things go in India that you are going to do a mechanical engineering degree and ultimately you're going to be working
No,
in an IT sector.
no,
Does that work over there?
never, never.
Just for job?
You can't even apply for jobs.
That is actually correct. I think they should incorporate this in India as well, right? Mechanical
Yeah,
engineers
it's very
working in
bad.
TCS and doing coding. We are going to end this over here. Me and Anant has decades of hours to talk
Sure.
right now, but we can't do it because we cannot afford these podcasts to go like 10 hour long. But right now, we have decided that we are going to do another podcast. I want to get hardcore automobile engineering with Anant, and I'm sure that he
Sure,
will
sure.
explain in the simplest ways possible. Go and read Anant's vlogs, and I will link it down in the description box. I'll put it as the top comment over here so that you can go over there. He really explained things very well because he understands things very well. He's worked extremely hard, and I'm really happy to find someone who is so passionate about whatever he's trying to do. And I'm sure that students also have learned a lot over here. And
Thank you.
as
Thank you,
soon as
Ashish.
possible,
Thank you so much for the great words.
let me know if possible, only if possible next Sunday or Saturday also, if you're free. We are going to talk about automobile engineering,
Okay.
whatever you have learned in
Okay.
the university that you studied in. How was your experience in Lamborghini as an intern, or how is your experience going on right now? You joined recently only, I think 5th or 6th September, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. True.
So by the next time he will be having a little bit more experience over there as well. Maybe he can share.
Sure, sure, sure,
That's it,
sure.
Anant.
The shareable content for sure.
We are going to do it again, man. It was extremely interesting.
Thanks.
Thank you for being
No,
over here.
thanks for having me. It was really great to share whatever I know, and I hope I could help the young, the young crowd who's.
Yeah, your passion is just brimming out of each and every word you throw out, and we can all
Thank
see
you.
how
Yeah.
happy you are by doing what you always wanted to do. So that is what, if you're not in automobile engineering, if you want to do poetry or something, if you cannot learn nothing out of this podcast, you can learn that do what you're passionate about, and you'll always have a smile on your face.
True, very true. It's like I go to office, I'm happy going to office because I'm surrounded by cars.
Yeah.
I'm doing something that I'm knowing that it's gonna be outside for the people to use it, and that really drives me crazy.
All right, man. With that fine ending, we should end this podcast. Momentum is a weekly podcast. You are going to see us every Sunday. There are other podcasts also going on, Talk and Fire, Spacecast. If you are interested in space technology, there's a podcast called Spacecast on Ashish Ranjan channel. All these podcasts will be available on all the audio platforms. The links will be all down in the description box. Till then, bye. See you, Anant. We are going to meet again soon in another podcast.
Sure. Thank you, Ashish, for having me.
All right. Bye. Bye, everyone.